Hydration breaks have become a point of contention for many viewers of this year's World Cup. It's not just fans either. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk even spoke on it. He stated, "I think hydration breaks are really interesting because I was obviously watching almost all the games up until today. Every time going to commercial is a bit, not really that I like it. I think for the neutral watching on TV, it's also not great. So if it's really hot, obviously it would be good to put them in. But I think you have to look at every game separately, in my opinion." Look, it's hot in the United States. There was a lot of joking about how European teams that typically play in the mid 70 degrees Fahrenheit would perform in the hot climates of the United States in mid June. With that becomes a desire to have player safety, and that would require mandatory hydration breaks. Keep the guys hydrated, nobody passing out. We want everyone to be safe, play soccer, everyone's happy. World Cup, we want it to go flawlessly. With these hydration breaks comes along 832 new commercial slots across the tournament's 104 matches. And that's a new addition to the World Cup experience. Having mandatory 3-minute stoppages be able to have commercials ran through them, there comes contention. The commercials interrupting the soccer match, even if it's just showing the field, has become a bit of a plague to the fans. While I personally will always lean American football, NFL, college football over any other form of soccer or football, the one thing I can really respect about the product of soccer is how consistently the game is shown. If you have 90 minutes of soccer guaranteed to you, you're getting 90 minutes of soccer. There's not commercials. You are looking at guys run around on the field run around on the pitch for 90 minutes. Basically unencumbered. Now you have the advertisers on the jerseys. Soccer was on the forefront of that. But for the most part, it's a very clean broadcast operation. For American sports fans, this operation is nothing new, though. The NFL and football in general is a great example of over-commercialization and then the complaining. TV stoppages not only hurt the plain TV viewer, but those in the stands. It is a huge point of contention where you are going to a media timeout for 2 to 3 minutes when the game is just starting to get rolling. You lose momentum. You lose time. You are just sitting there watching a board, waiting for the countdown to end for you to get back to the action. There's not a set start, stop, start, play style in soccer. It's a continuous running game with a half. Sometimes you get minutes at the end of a half. So if the biggest event every 4 years in this sport now has a change where you have a stoppage for hydration, everyone's cool with it, but now you're getting fed a bunch of commercials in between, and sometimes the commercials are late to get back to the game, that's going to make people upset. Now, on the flip side, when it comes to talking about FIFA, it's a drop in the bucket, okay? This isn't a corruption issue. This isn't one of the other many issues that the league and, I guess, governing body of soccer has had. It's commercials in the game. So if we're going to compare apples to oranges, fine. Maybe the apples of corruption are a little worse than the oranges of commercials that you might be seeing. But if I'm going to be fair and I'm going to call out other sports for over commercializing and for the greed that I have called out in college football, that I've called out in basketball, pro and college, that I've called out in the NFL and the MLB specifically, I have to call it out for this also. I do have to stand up and say, geez, you're messing with it now. You're really messing with the entire product. It feels like the U.S. is getting swept up in all of these other fans coming to the nation and checking out Chili's or going to Applebee's or something. But it should be the reverse. It should be a lot of these non-soccer fans tuning into the games and just seeing uninterrupted sport for 45 minutes. That is something that could really refresh the senses of a typical casual sports fan in the country. And for the European fans or worldwide fans, African fans, Asian fans, if they're tuning in to watch their teams play and they're just getting hit with commercials out of the blue, I'd be pissed. They should be pissed. This is the World Cup. This should just be kind of kumbaya. Everyone enjoys the biggest soccer tournament that happens once every 4 years, and it shouldn't feel like there's pause going on in the operation. The fan in me really respects when players who are also fans of the game, students of the game, like Van Dijk, will call out an issue like this because they're on the other side of the fence for the most part. They're playing in the game. They are not seeing the game from the same vantage point as us. But when you have somebody that can go out and say, I am seeing the game just like you, I'm not in favor of this just like you, I'm going to, I guess, take that side. I think it's refreshing to see a player of his caliber stand up and say, I take exception with this. Now, we're not going to see any real changes. These are probably TV contracts that go way deep and that you're able to have commercials programmed months out. Very important, very profitable time slots to have commercials during the hydration breaks. But it is an interesting wrinkle that is coming into this World Cup. My final thoughts on the matter are this: keep the commercials tight. Don't miss any of the game ever. If you can do that, I don't think anybody's going to be talking about it in the next couple weeks as we move deeper into the tournament with higher stakes on the game. But if we keep on bleeding into the game itself, that's going to be a big time issue with the fans.